Hi everybody, welcome to Intro to GIS. I am Sarah Pellegrin, your instructor, and I'm just recording a quick welcome and hello video since this class is done entirely remotely, and we, as you all know, have a lab on Wednesdays that I will be at, but you don't have to go to, and I just wanted to at least show you my face and hopefully meet you on Zoom. If not, then we'll communicate over email and at least you know what I look like. So I just want to introduce myself quickly. Again, my name is Sarah. I'm actually based in Long Beach, California. So I'm an hour behind you guys in time schedule. So I will endeavor to not make mistakes with scheduling things with time zones, and I'm pretty good at it, but I occasionally have a lapse. So please forgive me for that in advance, but I will do my best to not confuse things. Anything else? I've been teaching GIS for 5 years at CWC. So this is 10 years through half a decade now. Amazing. And I've actually spent time in Lander, and I lived out there for a summer teaching, so I have a bit of a context for where you guys are at, which I think is always useful. And let's see what else. I have a 2-year-old son, so he won't be here when I'm teaching, which is good, but that does mean I have to do daycare drop-offs in the morning, which is why our class starts at, the Zoom classes on Wednesday start at, or Zoom time starts at 10:30 as opposed to 10, because I just can't do the drop-off and get back here in time for that start. What else? Oh, I have a PhD in geography. That's my kind of my official credentials and qualifications for teaching. And professionally, in terms of GIS industry, I did work in the utilities sector, the electrical utilities sector, for several years. So I don't do that right now, but that is kind of what was my professional application. So just to talk a little bit about the class, my experience with teaching online and taking online classes is that, for me, in my experience, you need predictability, and you need a very predictable pace of assignments and due dates. So that is my gift to you. I am giving you a class that is well structured, where everything is due at the same time every week, and it's generally going to be the same flow of assignments. To me, this allows you to sort of like clear your head and hold it all in one place. Even if you have a million other things going on in your head, you know that Wednesday nights, all the homework for this class is due. That won't ever change. So I've found it very irksome when classes all of a sudden have a Saturday due date for something in the middle of stuff. I'm like, I can't do that. So that's the pace, the schedule. Let's see, I have this little list here I'm looking at. My availability, like I said, I will be available every Wednesday from that 10:30 to 1. And that will sort of, I treat that as my kind of like open office hours, lab time. So I will be available then, but you can reach out to me anytime. I can't always get back to you immediately, especially since I might not be in front of a computer, or I just might be out and I can't answer the question adequately with what I have with me. So it could take me up to a day, but I'll try and get back to you by the end of the day. And as far as this class goes as well, we will have a tutor for the class, and I'll put his information up on our announcement that I send out tomorrow. So you can also reach out to him with any questions you have if stuff comes up. So one of the things I wanted to just review with you as far as like the expectations for the class is, of course, I want you to do your work. But because of the sort of the nature of online classes and the fact that you do have to be very sort of self-disciplined with it, I also demand that you check in every Wednesday. And this check-in is either something you can either meet me on Zoom and just chat with me for a few minutes about what you're doing if you have any questions, or you do a Google form, and I'll send a link out to that every Tuesday or Monday when I send my announcement. You do one or the other. You don't have to go online. You don't ever have to go online and talk to me on Zoom if you don't want to. But you do have to do this Google form. This Google form is sort of like our way of keeping you accountable for your weekly check-in, knowing that you're at least dipping your toe into the work on a regular basis. And I find that the students who do the check-ins do the work. So it's pretty easy, but it's very useful for helping just keeping the routine going. A little addition I'm doing this semester is kind of a pre and post learning assessment of the learning objectives for the chapter. It's a little bit of like just box checking, but I actually think it's really useful to just sort of like get it set in your head what you're supposed to be learning before you go into the chapter, and then when you come out, you just sort of review quickly. Did I learn these things? And hopefully you did. If you didn't, I actually really want to know if you don't feel confident about stuff. So um, I'm not looking for wrong or right answers with these pre and post check-ins. I just want to actually know how you feel about the material, and hopefully it's useful for you, and hopefully I would like for it to be useful, obviously for me as well, for helping to kind of craft how things are going and maybe have reviews of things if we need it. So again, I'm going back to this idea of predictability. The work will always generally be the same. There will always be a lab, a set of reading questions, and one additional assignment that will sort of like go at the subject matter from the lab in just a slightly different way. It'll always be another hands-on exercise. So that'll generally always be what's happening. The only variation from that will be when you have the last 2 weeks of class, we'll be doing kind of a final project that brings everything together. And you may or may not have gotten emails about this already. I'm not sure where this is at, but you of course need to have ArcGIS Pro on your computer. It's clearly very essential to this class. And we've just gone through some radical changes in how this all is accessed by students and downloaded. I mentioned this on the Canvas page, but I'll mention it here as well. It's different for me. It should be really easy for you, but because it's a system that, for instance, Jackie and I haven't used yet, we're kind of going into it going, I hope it works. So you will get an email, I believe, from Jackie. If not, it'll come from the CWC Esri account, and it'll already have your username assigned to you. And from that, you're supposed to click a link within the email that will then allow you to reset a password because you've had an account created. So you reset your own password. And then using those credentials, that username and password, you then will download the exe file that I have on our Canvas page. And using those credentials, you'll be able to like sign in and download the data, or download the software. And those credentials will also work for logging you into ArcPro and to ArcGIS Online. And all of that, it sounds like gobbledygook, will make sense probably within this first week. You'll start logging into stuff and that'll kind of come together. But again, this is a new system. I talked about it here. I'm going to send an email out about it. There's something about it on the Canvas page. So hopefully we cover our bases and it all comes together. And you know, we can take the first week to figure this out. If it takes us a little longer to like troubleshoot and if things aren't working out, that's fine. But hopefully within the first week we can get the software sorted. So last but not least, in addition to the software, of course, you need the textbook. And again, I have that in the introductory email I wrote to you. The textbook ISBNs are in the syllabus and also in the course outline. You can use an ebook and you can use a hardcover. The ebooks are fantastic. They're instantaneously accessible. They're cheap. But of course, nothing kind of beats a hardback. So do whatever you prefer doing. And just get the book as soon as you possibly can. And let's see what else. I'm actually really eager to have everyone succeed in the class. This is really interesting stuff. If it's your first time kind of even dipping into sort of geospatial inquiry, it's a little mind-changing and it's really exciting, and it's a good brand new way of approaching the world and problem solving. So in some ways the class can feel sort of simple in a way, but you have to appreciate the fact that you're not only learning a new kind of paradigm, a way of thinking about the world, but you're also learning a new software system. So it's not just, you know, you're learning this kind of academic theoretical stuff, you're also learning this very practical stuff. So both of those require kind of a new way of thinking. And it can take time to soak in, and it can feel a little bit like you're maybe a little befuddling at first, but I understand that and I get it. So we're just going to be gracious with each other and take our time and figure things out. And if things need figuring out. Also, I will mention that ArcPro is actually a relatively new software platform that we migrated to from what we were using, which was called ArcMap Desktop. And that just happened last year. So I myself am actually still kind of catching up a little bit with how Pro operates. It's always being updated and it's always changing. So even though for instance, I took the summer off, of course, now I'm back into it. And it's like, I'm afraid to see what things have changed. And I'm just kind of going to go like, okay, I think this is where this is. There might be a little bit of that at times. So please forgive me again, but I do know what I'm doing, sort of. Anything else? I think that's it for now. I think if you have questions, obviously email me, meet me on Zoom. Also, oh, just a caveat about Zoom, sometimes because I'm on for so long, sometimes it actually times me out and I don't realize I'm timed out. So if you go onto Zoom and you're put into a waiting room, I will get an email that says you're there, but you might need to just hang on for maybe 1 to 5 minutes until the email pops up and tells me that, oh, someone's waiting and you're not logged in. So we'll work these things out. We'll get used to it as time goes by. Um, and I'll just end this by saying another thing about my regularity and my pacing is I will send an announcement out every Monday or Tuesday in advance of the Wednesday kind of lab start to the new week with what to expect for the week. We'll have all the links to the Google Forms you need. We'll have a recap of what's coming up, and we'll look at a recap of what we did and a list of what is coming up. So again, and any announcements that I might need to make. Just look for that every week, and that's going to have everything you need. So you should be able to, with predictability, run this class in a way that you can actually operate the rest of your life and not feel like you're going to miss something, which I think is very important. Okay, well, I hope you guys are all doing well already in your semester, and I look forward to meeting you either over email or in Zoom. And I look forward to seeing all of your fantastic assignments come in. Okay, thanks very much. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.